the economy isn't where it should be, and that's an issue in of itself. But I think we shouldn't let businesses get away with not paying their workers, or the politicians who are deflating the money supply get away with it, and instead put it on consumers. So yeah, I'm not in favour of tipping. In conclusion,
Rebecca, that's all a bit deep, isn't it? Surely it's nice to chuck somebody a fiver or 10% of the bill, especially if you've had a massive table of 20 people. What's wrong with just saying thank you to the waitress or waiter?
I mean, I think both things can be true. Absolutely, I would expect that whether I'm tipping or not, somebody shouldn't be actively rude. And I completely agree that it shouldn't be the American system where they're effectively unpaid and the tip is the salary. That is fundamentally wrong. Businesses should be paying their staff to work there. But I like tipping. I think tipping is positive and important. Definitely when I was dating, I would notice how much somebody tipped, and if they didn't tip, I think it was a really bad sign about them as a person. And I enjoy the facility to thank somebody additionally beyond just saying thank you. And I think particularly if you're in a position where you can eat out, particularly if you're taking a very large group and you've taken up a lot of space and a lot of time, in my case probably left having cleared up the best of what to my ability of a toddler, but particularly if I'm there with a child and therefore I have inconvenienced them even further, I do think it's normal and good and right to give somebody that additional money, especially if you can afford to. It's lovely to be in the position to be able to give somebody an extra £5 that might improve their day.
Well, we perhaps expect it when we go out to eat and we're talking about the waiters or waitresses, but where do you draw the line? I, for example, find it hugely embarrassing. I get my hair done by a school mum. She's a friend of mine. Our daughters are best friends. Do I then get out the coins and give her, £4 or something after she's done my hair? I would find that rude. Personally, I feel like that would insult her. I'd rather she discharged me more. Same with my nails. Get my nails done by the same people, and I have done for years. If I turned around and got out 10% in coins, I find it embarrassing. Like, here you go, here's a couple of quid, as if they're destitute. I can't do it. It's embarrassing.
I think you would probably find that in the nail salon situation, they would not be annoyed to get a couple of quid. It's very normalised, and I can't imagine ever being insulted by somebody giving me some extra cash. Again, personally, I would always tip my hairdresser. I think I have a great relationship with them. I really love the service that they do. I go back and see them regularly. It feels very normal. I understand, but I think because we don't grow up with it, it's not the same as the US. It can feel a bit like, oh, am I acting like Daddy Warbucks? Do you think?
Exactly.
Do I think I'm some big? But I don't think I've ever heard of somebody being upset about being given a tip.
Jess, when is it okay to tip? So we've established probably in a restaurant is fine if you've got a big group with you and so on. What about, for example, delivery drivers? My wife has a go at me all the time for tipping our takeaway driver. He drops off I don't know, chicken shish kebab or something, and I give him a fiver just to say thank you. And she says, no, stop it. Is that okay? And what about taxi drivers, for example?
yeah, again, there are a lot of questions with this, and I think there is unanswered questions what to do in this social situation, in many social situations like this. I find it incredibly awkward, quite frankly, especially as you mentioned, when you get like Uber Eats, for example, or Deliveroo. Again, they're just on their bike or motorbike, going from one place to another. I don't think that's really worthy of tipping. And again, it's basic. You're basically doing your job. I agree in some situations it might be nice when you get overly, friendly people who go above and beyond. I think that behaviour should be rewarded. But at the same time, like what's been mentioned, inconvenience with toddlers or big friends, you shouldn't feel apologetic, or you shouldn't feel like you're an inconvenience being social. And actually, I think that should be considered a good thing, and that should be rewarded. And I think, again, it should be considered a normal part of the day-to-day, but because everyone's on their phone all the time, or everyone's socially isolated, that isn't considered the norm. And I think it's incredibly sad we think people are going above and beyond for just doing a basic service.
There we go. Well, I think that covers the arguments pretty well. Let us know at home what you think. But for now, we say thank you to Rebecca Reed and Jess Gill for their part in our debate. Do you think that's changed your opinion on it at all?
No, I'm happy to tip. I just think, if I can afford it and I can make somebody's day a bit better, and I understand it's not for everyone. I'm not going to be some tip authoritarian and demand everyone does it. But
I just quite like in restaurants when it is added onto the bill and that just takes away all of that. I don't like pretending like I'm Billy,
Well, East Coast guys said on your say, and this is my view as well, does the waiter or waitress get the tip, or is it shared between all staff because you like to tip that person? Same as me. I want the person to get the tip. But
I'm a chef as well. I think they've done the hard work. It's really tough graft in a kitchen.
The problem is cash as well.
Well, I know no one has cash anymore.
No.
There we go.
Maybe that's on me. Carry more cash.
Right, let's talk about Greg Wallace, shall we now? We obviously love to hear what you think, and we run a daily poll. Today, our question is, in light of the scandal surrounding the MasterChef star, are the BBC right to keep the current series on air? We'll be bringing you the live results throughout the day. Make sure you stay tuned.
Yes, the final results will be announced in Martin Daubney's show, and for all the latest polls, news, and how to vote, just go to gbnews.com/poll.
Now, still to come, we'll have Jonathan and Claire going through Making the News. See you in just a moment.